guys, welcome back to my channel for another video. Today I have the luxury of filming in a different part of my house because my family is gone for the day. The day that I'm filming this is take your kids to work day, and my husband planned a special day, especially with it being my oldest daughter's last time to ever be able to be a part of that. So they're out of the house and I am getting some work done. I just made myself an iced espresso and we are going to do a Q&A. It has been a bit since I did a Q&A. In fact, it's been a really long time actually. So I have a ton of questions from you guys from Instagram. That's where I always get all my questions. And I asked for any kind of questions, juicy questions, personal questions, homeschooling questions, graduation questions, anything you guys wanted to know, we are going to, I'm going to answer them. And I want to thank Night Zookeeper for sponsoring this Q&A. We continue to love Night Zookeeper in our homeschool, and with summer coming up, I am all about having some type of educational online resources available for my youngest daughter, and maybe you guys are looking for things too, for traveling, for just keeping your kids up to speed, even if they're public schooled, for preventing them from forgetting everything they've worked so hard on learning this year. So more on Night Zookeeper here in a bit, but let's jump into the Q&A. All right, so screenshots of the questions. I never pre-read them, so you guys get off the cuff answers. The first one is, can you think of where you could take back a piece of advice you've shared publicly? I loved this question. And it really made me think. So something that I would take back that I shared publicly actually has nothing to do with homeschooling and everything to do with when I was a personal trainer. When I would share different, more extreme approaches to eating. There are things that I believed for a long time, and I had reason to believe them at that time, that aging and maturity has shown me were probably not the best. So that would be what I would take back, is just giving nutritional guidance that it wasn't bad, but it just was more extreme than it needed to be. And so yeah, that was a good question. Thank you for that. The next one, thoughts on TVs in teenagers' bedrooms. That's a hard no for me. We don't have any TVs in our kids' bedrooms, and honestly, I don't think that that's a good idea at all. If Jake and I were ever able to watch something on our main TV down here, we wouldn't even have a TV in our bedroom. But the way our house is set up and everything like that, if he ever wants to watch like a dad movie or something, everyone's gonna be watching it essentially. So yeah, we wouldn't even have a TV in our room if it wasn't for that. And so a definite no on the TVs in the teenagers' rooms. How do you make friends for yourself and your kids without being in a co-op? So I think the first place to start to make friends is at your church. You know, making friends there is probably step number one. Step number two, in my experience, has been joining a gym of some sort. A CrossFit gym is really big on community, but you going there, your kids going there, some type of community center type thing, also really helpful for making friends. The third tip is to, along with the first one, the church one, is to maybe offer to host a Bible study or something like that, and open it up to strangers. So see who will come. If you open your door, people will come. And then the fourth way that you can make friends without joining a co-op is in your neighborhood, if you have that option, or with your kids being in extracurriculars. So their soccer team, their swim team, their dance team, anything like that. Even if you do like Awanas at church or anything, those are all the places to make friends. So if you guys have never heard of Night Zookeeper, you are missing out, because Night Zookeeper is an award-winning creative writing platform for kids ages 5 through 12. On Night Zookeeper, your child can practice, learn, and engage in all of the reading, writing, grammar things that you have been working on in your homeschool to teach them, all through the tons and tons of interactive games that are on Night Zookeeper. As your child works through Night Zookeeper and makes progress, they earn coins that unlock different areas, and then they're able to access those areas and do different things and explore the different sections of Night Zookeeper. Night Zookeeper is so user-friendly. Even your youngest children will have fun on the platform and be able to access it and pretty much navigate it themselves. I also love it because it's kind of a 2-for-1 when it comes to typing and computer literacy and all of those things. It's just a great way for your kids to spend some of their screen time allowance. And we've used Night Zookeeper in our homeschool for years. My daughter, who is graduating this year from high school, obviously no longer plays on Night Zookeeper, but she used it in her later elementary years as well. So it has been a tried and true, well-loved educational resource for my 4 kids, and I know you guys will love it too. If you're thinking about traveling, like I already mentioned, or summertime slide, or any of those things are a concern for you, Night Zookeeper can be something that you can have your kids work on for however many minutes per day, and it will keep their minds engaged and prevent them from forgetting everything that you worked so hard to teach them this year. There's also the option to use their creativity and really learn to love to write, because kids usually love to write when they get to be creative in their writing. And so Night Zookeeper is all about bringing out that creativity in your kids. They can submit their writing for feedback and learn different ways to improve it. And there's just so many things on Night Zookeeper. The options are really endless. So if you guys want to check it out, I have a 50% off link down below for you guys. It is a link, it is not a code, so make sure you just click that link. It'll automatically apply. You'll get a free trial, and then you'll also get that 50% off, and it will also work on sibling subscriptions as well. They have discounted sibling subscriptions, so if you have more than one child, you definitely want to get each kid their own account. That will help you guys out with that as well. So the information to Night Zookeeper will be down below for you guys. Check it out. I know your kids will absolutely love it, and so will you, especially as we head into summer. Once you are done homeschooling, name a vacation spot you and your husband could go to alone. We can really go anywhere. We have been all over, and as a family, but like anywhere to go specifically alone, I don't know, like a very inclusive resort that's tropical, where there's not much to do. So like teenagers would find it boring, but we would love it to just like lay in the sand and do nothing else and just hear water. So you tell me, where is that? Do I think the Good and the Beautiful science units are enough for 6th and 7th grade overview for science? Yes, but make sure you use those, what are they called? The correct grade level student, not student explorers, student journals, is that what they're called? I am drawing a blank here. I haven't drank this coffee. Yeah, just make sure you're using the right level for those. I personally use the ones for grade 7 and 8 in the 6th grade, and I think that was probably a good idea for my kids. Is there anyone you'd love to see in concert this year? Yes, there is, and I'm so excited because I literally just bought tickets 2 days ago. I want to see Brandon Lake, and I would love nothing more than if Jelly Roll made a cameo, but I don't think he will, but I'm really excited to see Brandon Lake. I would also love to see Noah Kahan, and I would also love to see Zach Bryan. And no, I don't condone everything that either of those men do, but I love their music. Have I ever traveled outside the US? If so, where? If not, why not? Yes, I've traveled outside of the US, but I am not an international, like, super traveler by any means. I have been to Mexico a long time ago. I have been to the Bahamas. I have been to... that might be it. I'm trying to think. Yeah, I think that's it. Where would I like to go more, like, coming up is I really want to go to Greece. I would love to go to Jerusalem. And I would also love to do like a European history kind of tour. And why have I not done that? Well, because I started having babies and raising kids, and taking 6 people international travel is quite expensive. That's kind of a funny question. Okay, I have to scroll back a few photos because I was taking screenshots as the questions were coming in. Whatever happened with the person that was suing you for my brand name Grace and Grit? Well, let me give you an update. So the lawyer that sent me like the threatening letter or whatever, I had to reply, and so I did. And thankfully, I don't think many people know this about me. I worked for an attorney for 3 years, almost 3 years. And so I actually had some paralegal type experience. So I knew like what she was doing. Nonetheless, it was a little stressful because I was just like, what is even happening here? And it was more like drama that I didn't want to deal with. So anyways, anytime you get a letter that is actually a legal letter, P.S. this is not legal advice, you do need to reply, right? So I sent a reply certified for proof that it was received, and I provided all sorts of supporting documents to support the points that I was stating, which was that there was no way that I was infringing on her client's trademark name of Grace and Grit, because her client trademarked it for a specific use. Because you obviously can't own the rights to words, like that doesn't, you know, so there's rules for that. So I was showing, and I was able to show that I was not causing her client to lose any business. No one would ever be confused between landing on my social media and thinking that they were you know, in her client's social media, because that's what she was alleging. So that they were losing business, and that is just not true. There are so many people, even Tim McGraw himself, using the words Grace and Grit or Grit and Grace to describe what, I think he wrote a book with it, and it was the title. So anyway, I sent that back, and I haven't heard a word, which is exactly what I like to do. Okay. But I was a nice person, and I was God honoring, and I did review all of my stuff to make sure that there wasn't any confusion. Like, I actually did my due diligence, and there was not. So that was the end of that. What are my home decor do's and don'ts? This is a fun question. I think from just learning from decorating homes for the last 20 plus years, I think some do's are keep the majority of things neutral and then change out things for, you know, like your tastes or seasons or whatever, but like keep the palette kind of neutral and then add in those pops rather than doing like a whole room like a bright color or something like that. I definitely went through my phase where every room in my older homes were a different color and a different theme. I think that was very early 2000s, but I'm glad we've moved beyond that now. I would say investing in quality furniture is usually 99% of the time worth it. We could not do that for the longest time because of finances and stuff when Jake and I were just getting started with our lives. So as we've become more established, when something has broken, we've chosen to, I'm not talking about like $10,000 restoration hardware type furniture, but you know, getting a nice couch from, you know, we got ours from Macy's and I really love it. And it was more than, it was kind of expensive to us, you know, so like things like that, but they're worth it. I would say less is more when it comes to decor. I would say those are all kind of like my dues. And also, I love a home that feels like a family lives there. So I don't want things to be like sterile and empty. So I think there's a fine line between being cluttered and chaotic, which I hate, and being too minimal, which makes you feel like you're in a doctor's office and there's no personality and there's no charm and there's no character. So those are kind of my thoughts on home decor. I think another do is to group up things like on shelves in odd numbers. That's like a decor tip that I have. I'm looking around my house. Yeah. Have throw blankets, that's a do. My family loves a throw blanket, even in the middle of summer. Favorite places to buy clothes for your youngest daughter? My 12-year-old struggles to find clothes. Yes, that is a difficult time for sizing, because it's like the girls section might be a little too small, and then the women's or the junior section is a little too big. So I relate to the struggle. However, my youngest daughter has success finding something anywhere I take her, and she's 13. So I think really what you have to do is you just have to try things on, which is kind of annoying, but it's worth it to not have to make the second trip to return it. So some of the places that she really likes are TJ Maxx, because she loves to hunt and find things. She also likes Target, and she can do an extra small in most things. We do Old Navy for her. I'm trying to think what else and where else have I bought her clothes recently. She bought a lot of stuff on Shein, and I know people are gonna hate that, but she likes it. She could get a lot of things. So anyway, those are some of the places recently where she's shopped that we have had success with for her, but I do make her try everything on to make sure that it fits right, not too short, not too cropped, you know, all the things. So yeah, those are some of the places we've had success. Okay, the next one might be a little hard because this person wrote in several boxes. So let's see what she says. I like to do a culmination celebration for my homeschoolers. This year, I asked my sister-in-law if they'd like to join in. Hang on. She originally said yes. A few days later, husband said no. I feel bad for the little ones because they're going to see their cousins being celebrated and not them. I cannot invite them. They are my in-laws. I don't know how to feel or respond. Well, I don't know that I fully understand this question, but what I think you're saying is you invited your sister-in-law to be a part of it and they declined. If they declined, then you just have to say okay, and then just do it for your kids. You gave them the option, you invited them, that was very nice. And if they said no, then I'm sure they have a reason. So I'm sorry, I'm not understanding the dilemma here, but I would just say if you invited them, then, you know, that was the nice thing to do. Rapid fire, favorite band. Band is different than a singer. I already said I really love Jelly Roll. I really love Chris Stapleton. I really love Zach Bryan. I really love Noah Kahan. Oh, you put artist. Okay, those are some of the artists. Flower. I love a white rose. Weather. I love nice weather. So it can be fall nice weather. It can be spring nice weather. I just love nice weather. Book of the Bible, James. Clothing brand. clothing brand. Free people. The Good and the Beautiful health course versus master books. Can I say both? Versus The Good and the Beautiful. Health related. What are your go-to snacks without seed oils? Just got on this journey of removing them. Beef sticks, like chomps, fruit, nuts, protein shakes. Least favorite part of homeschooling. My least favorite part of homeschooling is dealing with someone who is being mean, someone being rude, someone being grumpy, and feeling the effects of that on everybody in the household. That's my least favorite part. Any SAT prep suggestions? Definitely do the practice test that they give you when you sign up. Also, Shorman Math is incredible for preparation for that. So those would be my 2 suggestions. Which kid is the most like you and the most opposite? I would say my son Landon is the most like me. And most opposite would probably be my son Caleb. Please. Okay, I'm gonna come back to this question because this one's kind of long. Where are you guys hoping to travel over the next few years? So I have asked, and Lord willing, I want to go to Greece for my 40th birthday, or some type of European trip with all my kids. So that's kind of the hard part, because by then I'll have like 2 adult children. So that is somewhere that I hope to go. I really want to get to Washington, D.C. during this next 3-year time period. I went with Jake in 2015, but our kids have never gone, so that's on my list. I would love to go to more national parks in our travel trailer, and I would love to go to Michigan in the summertime. We've always gone in the winter and fall, and I know how beautiful summer in certain parts of Michigan can be, so I would like to do that. Those are just a few places that I am thinking about. Okay, so here's the longer question. Please share your wisdom on aging and fighting culture's lies about female bodies. Wow, this could be a video in and of itself. Let me know if you guys want me to make a video on this topic, okay? Let me know if this is something you struggle with. So, my wisdom on aging, first of all, let me tell you that I have things to say, but that doesn't mean that I don't still struggle with my thoughts and my body image sometimes. You guys have to remember that my job involves me filming myself and looking at myself in every kind of angle. Like, I don't think you guys know what you look like when you're bending over tying your shoes, but I do. I don't think you know what you look like when you're hauling in armfuls of groceries, but I do. I don't think you know what you look like when you make your bed, but I do. And so just because I have some wisdom doesn't mean that it's not a battle that I still fight. I do fight this battle. So wisdom on aging. First of all, aging is a blessing, okay? God has said it is, and not everyone has the blessing of growing older. So that viewing aging as a bad thing is like, I don't know, it's so opposite of what it actually is. I think you can age gracefully, which is the way that I would like to age, but it's not rooted in vanity for me. It's rooted in the fact that I just want to feel good about myself. I want to feel good on the inside. I want to feel good when I see myself. I want to see myself and feel good about it. Like, I want to be healthy so that I can take care of my kids, take care of my home, live my life, hike, adventure, all of those things. And so, as we age, some wisdom that I have is that you probably are going to have to take care of yourself a little bit better than you may have in your early 20s. Like, you know, when you're 19 and 18 and you're existing off of Mountain Dew and Taco Bell, you can get away with that for a little while without a lot of ramifications. But as we age, I do think that there is wisdom in caring for your body a little bit better. Doing the things, all the things, you know, like supplements, vitamins, protein, water, sunshine, activity, all those things, sleep, become a lot more important to age. Culture's lies. Well, culture is always trying to convince us that we're not good enough. And I'm not here to tell you that we actually are good enough, because none of us are good when you look at scripture, but not even talking about, I'm not even talking about the deep spirituality of that, but let's just stay on the surface. Like, culture will always be telling you that there's more you could be doing, that you're not doing enough, that you need to do this, that you need to do that, that this is wrong, that this is right. And so we have to stick to the truth, and we have to use discernment and common sense when it comes to approaching things. Yeah, I think another piece of wisdom is to recognize that no one, unless they're me, is posting themselves on social media in a light that isn't what they would feel good about. So you're seeing the edited, filtered, contorted versions of people, and that's probably not what they really look like when they would just be walking in their house, hauling in their groceries or whatever. So yeah, I think remembering that and keeping that in a good frame of, frame view is important. I think another piece of wisdom is that if it sounds extreme, crazy, or like defies like hundreds of years of people living on this earth's like common sense, then you should not do that. You should run away from it. Another piece of wisdom I have about aging is that taking care of yourself and feeling good is usually a lot more simple than we make it out. And the last little bit of wisdom that I have on this topic, which again, let me know if you guys want me to talk about this in a video more in depth, is that your worth is not attached to your size. Your worth is not attached to your fitness accomplishments or lack thereof. Your identity is in Christ. At the same time, though, that's not a permission slip to trash the temple that he has given you. So, but we do those things because we want to honor God with our lives. We take care of ourselves because we want to serve him well. We want to be healthy, and all of those things. And, but we don't do it because our worth is attached to those things. So anyway, I could talk about that for a long time. This has been a journey for me, especially the last few years. And like I said, like with my job, it is hard. It can be hard. I have struggled with my body image pretty much my entire life, and I can probably tell you why too. But that's for another day. Okay, what is my favorite part of my house? My favorite part of my house is probably, I don't know, I do love my house. Of course, I wish it was a little bit bigger, but we are content. I love my kitchen. I love how it like has that natural circular flow to it. It's all open. I love where my house is located though, like the area, the neighborhood, the views, the trails, all of that. So yeah, I don't know. I can't really pick one part. What was my favorite childhood meal? This cracked me up because I was a pretty picky eater for a period of time, I remember. And I used to love white rice with butter and pepper on it. That would be a meal, like an entire meal. Parents in the 90s were very different. And then the other thing that I loved was grits. grits with butter and pepper on it as well. I also loved Velveeta mac and cheese. That was also a meal. So yeah. And then she says, what about now? My favorite meal now is either like a delicious big salad with lots of flavors going on, finely chopped, or tacos. I'll always say like street tacos. That's just my favorite. Do I ever go out in public in sweats and no makeup? Yes, 100%. I go to my daughter's dance studio every single day in a big t-shirt and shorts and no makeup. Like I am usually in no makeup and in comfy clothes. How do you keep your family, husband, and children working together on the same page? Well, I don't. They don't work together on the same page. But one thing that I do when I'm trying to keep everyone on the same page is ask everyone to work together. I tell them whatever it is. I give the lowdown and the rundown, and I kind of have like a family meeting. That's really helpful. But yeah, it doesn't go, we don't all work together all the time very well. I'll just say that. What are your favorite go-to scriptures for daily life? Which ones stand out right now? Right now, going through the season that I'm in with my oldest daughter getting ready to graduate, I am just really, really heavily leaning into the Psalms. So yeah. What's in the folder in the front of you in the photo? What do I have in it? So she's talking about the picture I used on Instagram. That was actually my daughter's binder. I was checking some schoolwork that she had in there. How was the recovery after 4 C-sections and getting back into working out? I've had 3. My recovery with my 4th C-section was my easiest recovery. And I think that's just because I had learned through the previous 3 C-sections what the do's and the don'ts were. And I followed the recovery instructions pretty extremely. Pushing the boundaries was not wise. And so I recovered a lot better with those. I also took the pain medicine and ibuprofen for the time frame that they recommended, and that did help. So past times I was like, oh, I don't want to take that medicine, and then my body would be in so much pain, and I think it slowed down my recovery. So after the first few days, I stopped taking like the stronger like narcotic painkillers, but I did take that ibuprofen for I think like the whole 10 days after my C-section, and that really, really helped. Yeah, I knew how much I needed to walk around. I knew what to do, what not to do. I knew the sneezing and the coughing and the laughing. I knew not to even do any of those things. I also knew that stairs were not my friend at first, and so I camped out. So yeah, rest more than you think you need to, but also walk enough so that you don't like prolong your healing. What are you looking forward to most in the next stage of life, even though it's new and challenging? I am looking forward to what I'm looking forward to most in the next stage of life, I think you mean like once I'm done homeschooling, will just be being settled and not having to wonder where everyone's gonna end up. Like who's gonna go away to college? Where are they gonna live? When are they gonna meet a spouse? How are they gonna meet their spouses? I mean, these are things that I am like really struggling with, not worrying about. And I want to be near all 4 of my kids, but we also don't want to live where we live for forever. So it's kind of like this unsettled feeling. And so the thing that I'm looking forward to most is not having to wonder about those things, because a lot of that will be sorted out by then. I'm also really excited for my husband to be retired. He has worked so hard for so many years, and so I'm really excited about that. What is the most outrageous thing a brand has requested me to do, even if I turned it down? So the most outrageous thing, besides like all of the adult toy companies that have reached out to me over the years, those ones are still like the weirdest. But I've had brands, one in specific, that wanted me to do like really complicated shoots. Like, I need you to go to the store and I make sure you don't film anyone else or any other product in the store. I want you to get our thing from the store. I want you to come home. We need a 20-second clip of you opening the thing. We need a 35-second clip of you smiling at the thing. Like, so detailed. When I see that, I'm like, nah, I run for the hills. The most money that I've ever been offered for a sponsorship was a division of Amazon. It was a section of Amazon, and the company offered me the brand, or the agency that they hired to do it. It had to do with Alexa, and they offered me almost $10,000, and I turned it down because it was so complicated. Like, I don't even remember how it was, but it was like so detailed. It was so crazy. I couldn't do it. So yeah, that is that story. Any advice for reluctant drivers? My advice is, and I know that this is contrary to the world right now, but some things in life are scary and sometimes you just gotta do them. So my advice is to force your kids to learn how to drive, even if it takes 3 years and not 2. Like, you just have to make them do it. Because we are just raising a generation of, not me, but I see it, a generation that thinks that they can just Uber and, Uber Eats everywhere. And it's like, I don't know. My generation was like, I am 16. I cannot wait to get my license. I am getting my license the day I turn 16, and we did it. And now this generation is like, I want to live at home and have my mom cook me dinner because I am a stressed out person and I need my animal to go with me everywhere I go in my shopping cart, and I can't drive anywhere because I am scared. I don't know. My advice is to just tell them that yes, it's scary, but everything is scary until you learn to do it. And the only way to learn to do it is to keep trying and just keep going, because the more they do it, the less scary it becomes. All right. Next question, and probably the last few here. Do I ever see myself getting back into personal training once my children are grown? Maybe. I still love fitness. Favorite hot tea to drink lately? I haven't really been drinking too much hot tea. How did we decide to get our first basset hound? They are fellow hound lovers, beagles. It was totally random, and I truly believe from the Lord. We went and we were looking for a different dog, and we saw Dorothy, and I just fell in love with her. And I never would have known about basset hounds and their personalities and how much I love them without her. Have I ever done an elimination diet to see if something is making me ill or causing inflammation? Yes. I eliminated dairy and I eliminated gluten for over a year. What is your go-to meal when you as a mom are sick? I don't really have a go-to meal. I'll just kind of like ask Jake to grab something and I won't cook, but that happens very rarely. When do I get time to watch other YouTube channels or videos related to homeschooling? I don't watch anyone. There's just no one else at this same stage that I'm in sharing about it. And so unfortunately, there's nobody for me to watch. Do I use my Lily watch to track reps when lifting? No, I don't. I just know how many reps to do. The funniest thing that has happened to me lately. this is where we'll end. I gotta think about this. The funniest thing that has happened to me lately. There were a few things that happened on my girls' trip with my friend Sierra. One of them was when we were driving to Catalina. Well, we weren't driving to Catalina. We were driving to Long Beach to get on the ferry to get on the boat to go to Catalina. And we had stopped at Chipotle for lunch. And we only had about an hour and a half to get from Victorville, California to Long Beach. And so the traffic. And so I told my friend, I was like, we should probably just get our Chipotle and eat it in the car. And I was gonna offer to drive so she could eat her lunch too. Well, I like look over at her and she has her knee up by the door and no hands on the steering wheel, and she's like eating her Chipotle bowl. And I didn't want to be like a nervous friend and micromanage my adult friend, but I was so nervous because she wasn't holding onto the steering wheel, and I was like, how is she driving? This was really freaking me out. And she did that the whole way until her bowl was gone, and I just was so scared because I did not know, like, I kept looking over like, is she gonna grab the wheel? I don't know. And the freeways in California were crazy. Well, come to find out, I brought it up to her later. I was like, wow, friend, you really know how to drive with no hands. Like, I was praying in my head. I was so scared. Come to find out, she had put her car on like self-drive or auto drive or something, which is a feature that I didn't even know it had. And so the car was driving itself, essentially, kind of like a Tesla, but I didn't know that at the time. So we had a good laugh about that because I was a little scared. Let's just leave it at that. So that's gonna be it for this Q&A. I hope you guys enjoyed it. It's been a while since I just chatted with you. If you have any other questions, leave them down below. Don't forget to check out the links to Night Zookeeper. Those will be in the description box. Give this video a thumbs up before you click out of it, and I will see you guys again soon. Bye.